Hello and welcome back to my channel. Tonight I'm going to do something a little different than some of my other videos. Well, like I said, what I want to do with my channel is going to be uh, cards, collectibles, antiques, maybe some coins, relic hunting, gold panning, metal detecting. So I'm just gonna have a bunch of different videos. Not just gonna be one thing, but so I'm gonna show you two boxes I have here of stuff that I found metal detecting. Now these, of course, didn't happen this year. Uh, this was like I said, it was a bad year. 2020 was a bad year, so I didn't get out much to do any metal detecting. Um, but yeah, so these were a couple years I went. I'll kind of explain. So I go to a place, rock. I'm also will probably have rock picking and stuff like that. So I have a favorite place I like to go and pick rocks that just happens to be right next to a fort that was built, early 1800s. It just happened to be built during right after the 1812 war, where they burned down the first White House. So it was they built this fort, I think about starting 1819, finished I believe 1825, 26ish, somewhere there. But it was before Minnesota was a state. It was so basically after the war, 1812, they spread out into the west. They put a bunch of forts, military forts, before the U.S. was the U.S., and to prevent and to deal with British people in the United States and to prevent them from further getting into the middle of the country, which was yet, of course, Native Americans were living there, but really no one had moved there yet before the Louisiana Purchase, of all that territory. So they started putting bases across, protecting all that to make sure they could have their liaisons with the native population and meet with British people and also prevent another invasion with the help of Canada coming into the United States after the first Revolutionary War. Britain came back 1812. We fought Britain again with help of Canada. They did burn down our White House. So yeah, so I went my favorite place. So I said, going down, picking rocks. Like I said, I like to go to this place right along the river, fort right along the river. Great place to find rocks. Two different rivers merge kind of right around there, and good place to find rocks, stuff like that. And so I just happened to go further down. I don't mess anything around the fort because it's a historical site. You can't, there's no digging, you can't be doing any of that stuff. So I was way down, by the water, way away from the fort, place I like to go. And I sit down, tired, walked a long way, been looking at rocks all day. Sit down, weird little area. I'm kind of like, this is kind of a neat little area. Seemed to have been like a possible like dump of old material from possible Fort Snelling, other area, whatever. Because the fort that is there was rebuilt, I believe, in the 60s. All that was left were, I believe, one of the guards' towers, I think the officers' quarters, but there was no walls. People used to go in the early 1900s and they'd picnic outside of these weird buildings that used to be a fort. Then they rebuilt it. I believe the historical society helped rebuild it. Whatever. So I'm ways away from this fort. Sit down. I always just like to dig around in the sand. If I'm sitting somewhere, I'm digging around in the sand, looking at rocks, whatever. And I'm like, okay. All of a sudden, I'm pulling up some metal shards. I'm like, well, this is weird. I'm looking, I'm like, okay, they look like, something to hold bullets or something like that. And I'm like, okay. So I'm just kind of digging around with my foot in the sand. So I'm finding all these clips. And I'm starting to find a bunch of empty cartridges. Then I'm finding ones with, live ammunition. I'm like, oh, this is, old cartridges. And I'll show you all this, what I found. I went back to this place a couple times. So I don't know if it was like a dump. One of the soldiers, it's... most of the stuff is, I believe, World War One. And I will show you, I did find a Civil War bullet. I'll show you that one. I did find some other ones. Any of the live, I believe, World War One ammunition are in an ammo box. I don't have that out. I'm not going to show you those. I'll just show you the spent cartridges. And I believe they were probably all at one point live rounds. And I believe someone dumped it. I did find a Wheatie, a 1918 Wheatie, which led me to believe that possibly a soldier training, getting ready to go to World War One, but ending. World War One ended, 1918, so probably the ending. But maybe that person, I'm thinking, somehow was down at the beach, and I don't know. So I don't know. I'll show you some things. I don't know, but yeah, some of the things were not found there. Were found other places, and I'll explain, these. So, when I'm kind of going through, digging through the water, when I find rocks, I find there's lots of this stuff. That's pottery, earthenware, I believe, well worn. But yeah, this is like old. So this possibly could have been homesteads around there. Things just washed up. Yeah, a lot of pottery. You'll find tons of pottery. Yeah, that's nice. You can see that kind of probably nice china at some point. I don't know. I don't know if they're old. Could be 18. You know what I mean? Could be 1960. I don't know. But some of these, like with that pattern, just seems like that could be kind of old. Some old glass. Oh, can you see? Yeah. Some glass. You can't see through it. It's thick glass. But yeah. Some rock. That's kind of basically what you're looking at. I believe, I could be wrong. I believe it's kind of a limestone. Whatever that fort's built out of. It's pretty much everywhere around there. So I just kind of picked to kind of see. I did find, then you got some other, I have no idea, some sort of metal, something, went to something, not sure what that is. Could be old. What is this? Oh yeah, ooh, it's kind of falling apart there. as you can see, is an old, very rusty, falling apart right now, old nail. Found that. I've not preserved anything greatly yet. I gotta clean some of these things. So yeah, then like I said, not all of these things are from the same place. But here we go. So these are what I'm talking about. These are, of course, they're right now just covered in sand. I haven't cleaned any of these. Not a lot of time. But yeah, these are brass stripper clips. I believe they would hold 4 rounds in there. So I'd easily load these, and these were for, I can't remember what gun, but it was a World War I rifle. It held 4. You just pop it in there, push it down. It just easily to load up your gun to add, But yeah, I kept finding all these things. So I was like, oh man, this must have been a drop. A soldier dropped his bag or something. But yeah, there was just tons of these called brass stripper clips. I kept finding. I did find this. Whoop. Pull this guy out. That is a fired bullet. Let's see, that did hit. Did find that guy. It's one of the things I found there, and I don't know if that's, like I said, I don't know if someone went down a ways down the river and were firing, or they used to fire. I don't know. But yeah, there's a fired bullet that hit something. Yeah. And like I said, yeah, we just have each one of these. I mean, it's just filled with these brass stripper clips, which I need to clean. They're just all caked with, because I dug them out of the bank of the river. So just all caked in sand. Here is this. Like I said, I don't know if this is all related, but it was what? I can't even see what it says. 19. I don't know if you can see that either. Let's see if it doesn't want to. Almost. 1919. So this would have been after the war. So this could have been a soldier after or training after World War One. But this was found near, so I'm thinking this was maybe all from that same, I don't know. And then, of course, in this one right here, we have, somebody would be like, ooh, wow, what would he do? You have a rusty railroad spike. Yes, I do. And people know that place I go used to be where the river is, and that fort. They couldn't get boats up the river, bigger boats, up that river, until they dredged it to make it, bigger, easier for bigger boats to get up that river. So before that, right next to that fort, they had to build a railroad tracks to transport anything north of that or south, because they couldn't go up that river anymore. So I did find a railroad spike, which makes sense because there used to be railroad tracks there. No longer there, but you can still find, it's everywhere. You know what I mean? And then a lot of these, just the rusty, just falling apart. These are some more old nails. You know, some good old square nails. Got, you know, try to preserve some of those. Like I said, these are a lot from two or three different times of going back. A lot of these finds I was looking for rocks and I just found right in the river. But a lot of these, the actual brass stripper clips and bullets are all from the same location. Like I said, I took some rocks from around because they're everywhere. Kind of what the fort's built from. Now I'll go to the next one here. So this next one's going to just be, we got some of these things I have no idea. I just got them. It's just big chunks of iron. I have no idea what this thing is. Weighs a ton. This looks like it's roll, but it is like, that's gotta be iron. Iron or steel, but that's heavy. I don't know if that was a weight for something. I don't know what that is. I found that, I was like, that's kind of neat. Looks hand forged. I don't know. But yeah, I have no idea what that is. If anyone knows, leave a comment. Because I have no idea what that is. But it was neat. This one here we got, of course, everything's just rusting. That is a bolt, I believe, from the old railroad bridge tracks that used to be there. Found that. And of course this here, I'm guessing, is probably also rusty. Said everything's just rusting away. I gotta preserve if I want to. I gotta see what. I think this was also another part to that. Just that rust falling off. The railroad. One of the beams, trusses, whatever. Found that. Yeah, not so exciting, I know. Let's get into some exciting stuff. Alright. Of course, I did find, walking along, you might not be able to tell, you probably will, did find a fossil. That's kind of cool. Don't know what, some sort of, hopefully you can see that. Yeah, I did find that. That's pretty neat. So I was happy with that. Looking for rocks. And see, yep, there's gonna be more of these. The brass stripper clips. Tons of these brass stripper clips. Brass stripper clips. Need to clean these. At some point I'll show you what the ammunition looked like that went into those brass strips. This one I'm going to save here. I'll show you that one a little bit later. Put that one right over here. That's going to be the feast resistance. This, I believe this is just a burnt aluminum. Could be burnt lead. Real light. So I'm thinking it's burnt aluminum. It's just a chunk of burnt aluminum. Found that. And this is just a handful of the brass stripper clips. I was just pulling these out left and right. Couldn't believe it. That's why I don't know if it was people were firing them back, but I looked it up. I can't remember what gun it's from. It is a World War One United States rifle. I just cannot remember which rifle that is right now. More of the brass stripper clips. Need to clean these. Preserve them before they just disintegrate. I did find this. Don't know what. It is a ring of some sort. I don't think it's a person's ring. I mean, it could be. I don't know if someone knows. It's completely round. I don't know if it was like a seal or something, a washer, some kind of metal. It is real light. Almost thought maybe it was a pin for a grenade. I'm not sure, but there is no. It does look like it was folded over. At one point, maybe something could have been attached. You feel little spots where something could have been welded to it. I'm not sure what it is. That was a cool find. Some sort of ring of some sort. Yeah. I enjoy that. More brass stripper clips. Now, these are right here. This is the ammunition that I found. If you look at the bottom, I don't believe any of these were actually fired. Don't worry, this one is. It's been all cleaned out. But like I said, I do have a bunch that are still in there. But I need to have these cleaned to preserve them. But yeah, I don't believe any of these don't look like have been fired. Well, this one definitely not, because it has that. There is no gunpowder in there. But yeah, I found these. Just a bunch of these. I don't remember what. Once again, probably can't see it. I mean, they weren't fired. There's no pressing on the. As you can tell, these are modern bullets because they do have a part where you would hit that to fire the bullet. But yeah, I found a bunch of these. These are two ones that are clean, but I did find a bunch. And I did find I can't remember what it was. Another one, it was from a handgun, but it was a full bullet, projectile. Everything was completely full there. Like I said, they're in my gun safe or ammo box. I'm not going to have live ammunition that's 100 years old sitting out. That's a bad idea. But that's some finds. And the last one, this was found at a different spot. All these, did not bring a metal detector or anything, didn't go anywhere near the fort, went away, found these. But this one I found, this was also not fired at all. Oh, geez, and I drop it. This one I was super happy to find without a metal detector at all. That is a Burnside carbine bullet. The projectile. You know what I mean? If you look at my finger, I mean, let's compare modern, is more modern. I mean, it's still 100 years old, but that's still almost the same technology for bullets versus your Civil War bullet. I mean, that's no thank you. I mean, this is going to rip through you. These were designed to just destroy someone's body. Versus this was meant to kill someone precisely humanely, if you will, I guess. But I mean, these were just the World War or Civil War bullets. And then when you get back, pre-Civil War, when you go back to muskets, I mean, when you find a musket ball, and I mean, just the size of these things from the Civil War and their cannons, and it's just crazy. I mean, these things, it's like no wonder so many people lost limbs and they had to cut off arms and legs on people because, I mean, that would just hit with that. I mean, that's just going to shatter your bone. You get hit in your leg, I mean, you just might as well say goodbye to your leg. Because it might go through, but that's just going to shatter whatever it hits. I mean, all right. So, yeah, in conclusion, that was some finds I found near a fort that was built after the War 1812. Someplace I like to go rock picking, but I thought I'd show you some things. I enjoyed going out and doing that. Something I find peaceful. Just going out and digging through the dirt. So I like to metal detect. I also like to rock picking. I also like collectibles. I like antiques. I like any sort of treasure hunt. That's where I'm going to be. So I think all my, next videos, they're going to be a bunch of different stuff. But, yeah. So hopefully if you like these, I might, come up with some other places I go to, show you some other cool stuff I found. But this is one thing that I was happy. When I got into metal detecting, I was like, I want to go find an old place. And what better place? I mean, if we're going to go find somewhere that's like like Civil War or before. I mean, that's where you're going to find your best stuff. You're going to be happy. I mean, you'll be happy with anything you find metal detecting. Coins, jewelry, whatever. But like I said, all of this stuff that I found here was found just my eyesight, just looking around. I didn't bring a metal detector at all. All these were found when I was rock picking. I just stumbled upon that I believe was just a drop. A soldier or something dropped his bag and there were some bullets, maybe a coin, I don't know. Or all those are not the same. Maybe they're from different people. I don't know. Maybe during when they trained, I know they trained World War I and World War II people at that fort before they were sent off to Europe and Asia or Africa, wherever, during World War I or World War II. So possibly people were, when they were training, they were down by the river, shooting off weapons. I don't know. But that's just what I found. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for another video. Have a good night.